Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from rSpace. Your glow up is going to be hard for some people to watch. Glow up anyway. Today on rSpace, we hear from those who did just that. Up first, this ex can cry, OP, a river. 3 years later, an ex-wife is still playing the victim. So about 2 years ago, ex-wife, 38 female, cheated on me. Twice, but only admits to one, even though I have solid evidence. We were together 20 years, married 14. We had it all. Kids, house, great jobs, and I was everything a partner should be, but I admit I was far from perfect. Separation was somewhat amicable. I offered her to keep the house, but she declined. I paid her out, since that is all she wanted, which in her words was to move on with her life. After being separated for over a year, we officially divorced. During that time, during the separation, and up until now, she has stayed with the affair partner. Fast forward to now. She is bitter because she lives in an apartment, blamed me because I forced her to be unfaithful by asking for a separation during an argument after noticing all the changes in personality, lack of intimacy, physical and emotional changes. She feels depressed because her own family and friends cut her off due to her decisions, trying to bring a affair partner around a few months in. Looking back, I did and would have done anything for this woman until she proved to be unfaithful. Left her 4 kids to be with a affair partner, and now is playing the blame game because things have not turned out like she hoped. To be clear, I tried everything I could to stay in the marriage, but it was never enough for her. Her mind was made up and nothing that I did was good enough. She mostly gets upset because I keep it businesslike with her and only communicate when it comes to the kids. I have left many details out for the obvious reasons, but has anyone experienced the ex-partner trying to guilt trip you and blame you for how things didn't work out the way they thought it would? I feel bad for her in a way because I did spend 20 years with this person, but at the same time, I find it hard to forgive her for what she did. I think she now sees what she's done and regrets every decision leading up to it. She wants to justify her actions and wants to blame me for her miserable life. Comments appreciated. The OP does add this. I love the quote, "Her version of my history is not important. My ex did the same thing. She signed the separation papers after having them for weeks and then accused me of taking advantage of the situation. I gave her a significant amount of money. I had just refinanced the house, so there was no equity, lucky for me. I gave her a fairly new car that was paid off, and a few months prior I paid off all of our debt minus the house. She made out like a pig in crap if you ask me." Live Maze 6410 chimes in. She blames you for the divorce, even though it was her decision to move on with life? I don't know, man, this sounds like good old-fashioned manipulation from someone who is used to it working. You're doing it right by keeping it businesslike. Let me guess, she wants to be like friends or buddies or whatever? Yeah, that's not happening when you do what she did. Good luck, man. You seem to be moving on well. My ex-fiance still blames me for not reconciling 3.5 years later to the few mutual friends we have. These people don't like accountability. The OP replies, "Exactly. That is her biggest gripe with me because she wants to be friends and have family functions like nothing ever happened. Her excuse is she grew up in a divorced house and knows how it feels. Ironically or not, her mother was unfaithful to her father. I can sleep at night knowing I did everything I could and kept my vows." Live Maze 6410 has another thought. "Don't hear that noise, man. When you are with your children, you are dad. When you and her are discussing your children, you are business partners. Simple as that. There is no friendly, amicable break here. She cheated and then didn't care." The OP thinks, "Those are exactly my feelings. She tries to play the potty party." I think the OP meant pity party. But I just tune her out. I am all out of emotional support cards. I tell her that is no longer my role. She got mad at me because I didn't help her out a spare tire back after she had a flat. I told her that is no longer my role. She ended up going to the tire shop. Tertiary78 has some advice. Opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference. I think pitying her is you recognizing you maintain zero feelings for her other than as the mother of your children. I would set stronger boundaries here and not entertain any of these conversations for her to run you down. Walk away when she starts going off in her self-spiral and absolutely ignore it via IM. Don't let her draw you in any more than you need. Move to a healthier and happier things and let her wallow in her self-pity." The OP responds, "Well said and great perspective. I truly feel indifferent, and she reminds me all the time that I'm rude by not engaging in conversation. I love your advice." Our last comment on this story comes from Director 20530. "Go no contact on everything except for matters involving your children. Her version of your history is not important. You know the truth, and that is all that matters. My ex telephoned me in October from a burner phone. She called to ask for help with a security deposit on a one-bedroom apartment she was going to rent. She also took the time to moan and groan about her current status, alone and penniless. She conveniently ignored the fact that she left me for the affair partner. She signed the divorce settlement without legal counsel, and she spent $60,000 she withdrew from our savings in less than 90 days. Too bad, so sad. Sometimes bad people are bad because they are playing the victim for attention or control. If they play the victim to get their way, consider choosing your battles wisely or making choices that will circumnavigate the circumstances in the first place, OP. Or, if they play the victim for attention, consider how you can reduce the amount of attention they might receive for their ploy. In the end, playing the victim doesn't get you anywhere. The victim will end up facing painful consequences in their life and relationships if they do not change their behavior by taking constructive criticism and turning it into positive action. She seems to have a head start with this one. Honestly, she dug her own grave and she's absolutely not your responsibility anymore. You have every right to move on and move up. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. While we move on, the next cheater learned she, in fact, couldn't do everything she wanted. Hopefully, call the cheater out to her boyfriend. Back in 2016, I used to bounce, mainly at this one bar on the regular. We wore badges because this was a Western-themed place, and the owner at the time was all about it. I thought they were kind of goofy, but they were actually effective in helping folks find staff and bouncers. The setup of the bar was odd, that it was on the second floor. The back entrance was the only good smoking space, but the door locked upon closing because the building owner preferred it that way. One night, my bouncer friend was at the door, and I was just walking around and checking how things were on the floor. This pretty woman came up to me and asked me to go downstairs with her so I could open the back door for her after she was done smoking. And no, not that back door. We went downstairs and I talked with her while she was smoking, and right away, things got very flirty, then sexual. She poked my badge and said they were fake and silly. I remarked that it helped her to find me, so they must have been useful. I learned that she was a nurse in the area, was in a relationship but was bored with her boyfriend and looking for something. I learned she was monogamous but did whatever she wanted. She challenged me that if we still had to wear badges by the end of 6 months, when her boyfriend would be out of town, as if that made it okay, we'd meet here again and kiss. Maybe more. In my mind, I played along but acknowledged what was probably actually happening. We went back upstairs and everything carried on. About a week and a half later, I was at the door. She walked up the stairs to the entranceway, very close to a guy I assumed her boyfriend. When she saw me at the door, her face became all nervous. I looked at her, just pointed to my badge, but didn't really talk to her. She watched me as I checked the ID of the guy she was with. I didn't say anything, but something along the lines of, "Have a good time." The whole evening, she would never leave his side, and she'd avoid going near wherever I was or even making eye contact. I got to leave early that day. On my way out, I noticed the guy she was with was finally alone. Maybe she'd gone to the bathroom or downstairs for a smoke. I walked past him, put my hand on his shoulder, and whispered to the dude, "She's probably cheating. Tried it with me," and left. Not too long after that, I stopped bouncing altogether to focus on other professional opportunities. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, I was walking downtown. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her walking in my direction. I think she recognized me, and she shot me a look of pure venom that could not be matched to this day. I'll have no way of knowing how things played out, but something tells me that night didn't go so well for her. Probably an a-hole move on my part, but hey, maybe it takes an a-hole to catch an a-hole. Our first response from the community, Italian Shorty 1 says, "Can you call out my cheating ex-boyfriend to his fiancée?" The OP replies, "Yikes. I'm sorry you went through that nightmare. That could be arranged." Christine M. Books says, "Good job. If more people called out cheating a-holes on their behavior, maybe they'd learn to stop stringing people along while doing their own thing. Doubtful, but a nice thought anyway. I don't think it was an a-hole move. I think you did a decent thing for the guy." Sick RM chimes in, "Not an a-hole move. You saved that guy big time. He could have ended up marrying her and having kids, if they were even biologically his. It seems like they broke up. She would have given you a smug or taunting look instead of one of venom if they'd stayed together. Honestly, it sounds like you did them a service. If she was willing to do that with you, guaranteed she's tried it before and it wasn't a one-time thing. She can't have her cake and eat it too. Hopefully, she's learned her lesson. What do you think? Would you have told him? The next cheater can't help her boyfriend straight? The most epic way I have seen someone quit a relationship. My friend, 25 male, deadass designed a pop-up website with a message that read, "I am breaking up with your cheating butt, Lisa," with a picture of a broken heart divided into two. This pretty much made my day. The funny part is, right now as I type this post, she still doesn't know which one of her boyfriends sent it. I told him to include his name. He just wouldn't listen. Still cracks me up. The response from Typing Without Thinking says, "When I found out she cheated, I just stopped calling her or answering her calls. I abandoned my stuff at her place. I threw out her stuff at my place. When she finally tracked me down, I was with a coworker, and confronted me, I put on my best, 'I'm confused' face and asked her who she was. While she was berating me, I just kept telling her that I had no idea who she was. She mentioned specific things that I had left at her place. I told her I have never owned such things. When she got frustrated and stopped talking, I simply walked away. When my coworker asked me who the crazy lady was, I simply said I had no idea. Of course, I made sure to say it loud enough for her to hear. Did it drive her crazy? Honestly, I have no idea. She did stop chasing me though, so mission accomplished." J&H daughter chimes in, "Nah, he don't need to include his name, just ghost the cheater." Sometimes people just need to be put in their place. Tell us your most epic breakup story in the comments below. Meanwhile, our last OP is marrying her green flag. Divorced, abusive, cheating ex, now getting remarried. This is a more wholesome post. TW for abuse. My ex-husband was physically abusive to me. He used to beat me and push me around, put my head through walls, and was just overall not a good partner. I put up with this for 5 years because I loved my son and wanted him to have parents together like I didn't have. I finally left him in November of 2019. I found my strength to leave him when I found out he was cheating on me with multiple people and I couldn't take it anymore. This was probably the 5th time I found out he was cheating. Our divorce was finalized in May of 2021. In February of 2021, I found my soon-to-be husband. And when I tell you he is the complete opposite of everything my ex-husband was, I mean it. He's kind, compassionate, sweet, would never harm me in any way, and absolutely would never cheat on me. I can't describe the amount of baggage I have leaving my ex-husband, and he takes it in stride. I'm getting married on the 2nd of July, and I couldn't be happier. I love my soon-to-be husband, and I couldn't imagine a better man to be with. I guess what I'm trying to say is, there are happy endings to bad, abusive, cheating relationships. I have finally found mine. I hope everyone else will find theirs too. Lot of Scars 800 has something to say. What are some green flags of your current partner that you would advise persons from this sub to look out for in a potential suitor after the crazy crap we've been put through? The OP replies, "Great question. For me, it's how he also treats my son. I mentioned how I stayed for so long because of my son, and he treats him exactly like his own kid. I don't even have to ask him to do things, and he does it. If I'm sick, he runs to get medicine for me and will take care of me. I ask him for hugs or cuddles, and he doesn't berate me and just does it. He cooks and cleans. I don't have to ask for anything that should be common sense. He never puts me down. I don't think I've ever had a time where he called me ugly, fat, stupid, or anything my ex did. We talk about things that irritate us or anger us, and we don't yell or fight at all. He communicates rather than just immediately acts out." Coca-Cola Kid adds this, "So sorry you had to go through the abuse. No one deserved this. I wish you full happiness going forward with your future husband." This is so heartwarming, OP. I am so proud of you. I'm thrilled you found what you deserved. What you were experiencing is what you have deserved all along, and I'm so sorry you had to go through hell to get there. Get used to this new normal. Wishing you all the happiness this world has to offer. Thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, please let us know what you thought of today's content. Until next time.